We riding, sliding across the globe with beats so smooth where everything flows. Let's take to the air, got an AI compass. Funk it up, every step we take it makes us whole. Oh yeah. Passport stamp.
Welcome to the AI Compass podcast for travel leaders. I'm Jason Halberstadt. I'm CEO and founder of mytrip.ai. And today we're joined by Santiago Rodríguez. Welcome, Santiago.
Thank you very much, Jason. Thanks for having me here. I was really looking forward for this chance of talking to you.
Yeah, likewise. So tell us a bit about yourself, your history and what you're up to these days.
Pleasure. Well, I actually am originally from Ecuador, where you are located right now, but now I'm here in Germany. So long story short, I started around the year 2000 professionally, but I've been always interested in technology and all of this, world of IT, but I never went into the IT professional field. I rather went into the tourism field, right? And I've been since then working with local communities, governments, tour operators, tourist professionals, always helping them on ways on how to work together for destination development. And I was always looking how to connect technology into practical terms of tourism. And actually, I remember by those days, I was, something very innovative. I was using multimedia development tools with touch screens, which were the most interesting things for tourist information systems. And then after 14 years of working in Latin America, I decided to look how things actually work from the other side, from the source market side, from our perspective, thinking about the US or Europe. And that's when I got the chance, I looked for and got the chance to do my PhD in Belgium. And my PhD was all about how to improve the capacity of local stakeholders, small local stakeholders, to attract international visitors. Leveraging technology and without needing to have the big budgets. And I studied that, all the process of distribution between Germany and Ecuador as the case study. And I worked with tour operators, governments, everything like mapping all of those things. And at the end, I ended up with several methodologies and frameworks on how smaller stakeholders can attract and access international markets. And after that, I returned to Ecuador. I helped founding an international inter-university cooperation platform that exists until today. So they do research on tourism, tourist development, and publications. But besides that, I also kept working with DMOs and tour operators mainly. And then I returned to Europe since 2020. And since then, I'm working mostly with tourist destinations and companies in North America, Europe. I work and collaborate a lot as vice president of research and strategy in a company called Herman Global, right, where we work with destinations to operators to help them attract international visitors, but very specific type of visitors. People that really resonate with local development goals, and mostly using very cost-effective methods like digital marketing. And finally, 2 or 3 years ago, happened the explosion of conversational AIs. So for the first time in history, artificial intelligence was accessible for everybody. And suddenly you became a quasi-programmer or program developer, because with this type of applications like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, you could develop your own apps, custom GPTs, just by using natural language. And then that was the moment when I said, okay, all these years of experience I had and all these frameworks and methods that I've been applying and that takes so much time, for the first time I could automate them, make them much, much faster. And that's how I ended up developing 9 tools, which are free of access for any tourism professional, to help them go from insights to results in this process of how to attract international visitors, high quality visitors, right? And making it super, super, super easy. And as I mentioned, they are simple GPTs that are in the GPT store. We can share the link with everybody later here in the podcast so they can access it. And yeah, I mean, that's the point where I'm now, and one thing takes to another, and that's how we got in touch with you, because we both are related with the idea of AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so your recent work, you say, is usually working with local tourism or national level tourism offices like DMOs and tourism bureaus and the such. And so for them, they're and you work with them. So you work, say, for example, between Germany and Ecuador. And so you need to kind of define what is the German tourist like and what kinds of programs and campaigns can we run in order to attract those tourists. Is that more or less what we're
Exactly,
kind of the
exactly.
core of what you?
So that's the work that I mostly do with Herman Global, which is this insights and marketing agency. And we work with over 130 destinations in North America, Europe, Southeast Asia, and some of them are very big. But most of our partners are actually small destinations, like counties or small cities who don't have the big budgets. And we specialize helping them in attracting international visitors. And traditionally, that's the most expensive um, um, target markets, because traditionally you have to go to international trade fairs or hire an international PR agency or contract a big billboard in a capital cities. I mean, that's really huge budgets, and really few organizations have that amount of money, right? So the first thing we do is like develop very cost effective ways of getting international market intelligence, right?
Mhm.
Based on that intelligence, like you gave the example really clear, most destinations want to attract Germans, British, French visitors, or American visitors. So with these methods, like for example, social listening or using search data or using
Yeah,
hotel booking data, that's how we help, for example, a little destination, a rural destination in North America, for example, we help understand how Germans get to learn about them. I mean, how media communicates the message about this destination or doesn't communicate anything at all. And then we have to understand how these Germans start searching for, I mean, which type of keywords, phrases, um, uh, s- um, time in the year, which destinations, which activities these Germans are looking for in that destination. And then we help them also track how the booking nights in hotels in their destination from these Germans is performing, right? So we help them go through the whole process from inspiration to the planning process to the actually visitation part. But as I mentioned, we specialize in looking for alternatives to do all these things at a fraction of the cost. And in the middle of all that, of course, AI has been like a great opportunity. First, to bring costs for all these things even lower, and second, to actually even automate or help professionals um, do part of this research by their own, right? And the most important thing is that you don't only need to do the research, but you need to take that research and transform it into content that is relevant for that German that you want to attract. And then you have to take that content and transform it into marketing pieces.
yeah,
And all that process is a very, challenging process that now with AI
yeah.
can become much more accessible for everybody.
Yeah. I totally agree. Maybe we can dive into how, say, okay, we return to the Ecuador and Germany scenario again. So yeah, so we say we're a tour operator or
Mm.
DMC or a DMO, and
Yeah.
we want to, like you say, run all these different campaigns and messages to get people to visit. And
Yeah.
so one really amazing kind of framework or technique that AI is really enabled to kind of explode the abilities of is defining uh, personas, and
Yeah.
so actually like multiple profiles of ideal customers. Okay, so um, I don't know, Ingrid from Munich who loves to go on holidays in the summer and do, wildlife adventures, etc. So you get like a really full, like rich profile of who that target persona, who that target person is, so that you can then like write marketing materials and promotional materials for an audience of one. Yeah.
So,
And
well, precisely that's the framework that I'm trying to help people with, because I mean, and regarding focusing on AI specifically and how AI can help professionals nowadays, there's a huge gap. I mean, I'm talking with tourism professionals almost on a daily basis, all the way from CEOs to solopreneurs everywhere in the world, because they are mostly curious about, okay, AI is impressive. I see all those things that everyone is sharing social media, but I don't find a practical way to use it on a daily basis. I
Mhm.
mean, you work on an AI tourism. I mean, an AI agency specialized in tourism. How many professionals are actually building AI agents or automations on a daily basis? I mean, most people have opened, a lot of people have opened free accounts or even paid accounts like ChatGPT. And 90% of them, of the people that I'm talking to, they use it just to replace Google search or to make basic
Yeah.
basic consultations, like, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Or write emails. Yeah.
exactly those
Hmm.
type of things.
Hmm.
But these tools like ChatGPT, which are extremely powerful and extremely cheap, I mean, compared to what they provide, they can do a lot more than that. But people are not doing that. So returning to the process you mentioned, right? Define personas and then reach out with the right content. That's a framework that I've been trying to simplify for people. So if you allow me to share my screen for a
Sure.
moment, um, I'll share my screen and want to share with the audience, and I'll try to be as descriptive as possible for the people who is only listening to us. But this is actually really simple. So I have tried to simplify this process. I mean, it's of course more or less complex than this, but I've tried to make it as simple as possible in 4 steps, right? And please just follow me for a moment here. That any company or any destination that want to attract high value visitors, they have to follow these 4 steps. First of all, you need a strategy, right? You need to set a vision, some goals, what type of visitors you want to attract, what type of tourists you want to offer, right? Once you have that strategy, you need to get some market intelligence. I mean, get some research market information or some market trends to confirm your strategy is not crazy and adjust your strategy, right? Then when you have your strategy and some market intelligence, you need to start to creating content, either to inspire visitors that don't know about you yet, or support visitors that are already in your destination, or content to educate your stakeholders, your partners, your staff on professional challenges, right? And finally, with that content, you need to transform that content into social media or marketing pieces to return to point one, which is try to reach out to this visitor persona or this target market that you define in the first step. And this process goes on over and over again. So, I mean, usually for any company or DMO to do this, destination to do this, you would need different type of specialists, one for strategy, another for intelligence, another for content creation, another for marketing. And that might take several months until you find the people, you get in line with them, what you want from them, and they give you results and you correct everything, right? So what I did here to go through these 4 steps, instead of that, I created a set of GPTs. And each one of these GPTs, for those who don't know what a GPT is like a personalized prompt that you can save in your ChatGPT account, for example, and you can run it over and over again without having to give the instructions every time. So this GPT understands its purpose, understands what you did before, understands your context, and has a very specific purpose, so you can work more efficiently. So these 9 GPTs are like 9 different experts that will help you go through these 4 steps. Now, from strategy to intelligence to content creation to outreach. And we are not going to go through the 9 GPTs today, but just for the information of people, I mean, these tools, I've made them available for free for anybody who can who has a ChatGPT account can access them. But basically, I'll give you an example. I mean, the first GPT, the one for strategy, is called AI Tourism Expert. So what this GPT does, you get into there, And what I'm trying to do is make it as easy as possible for professionals, not to have to break their heads on what can I do with these powerful tools. Because actually, when you open a blank GPT conversation, is when a writer faces a blank page. Possibilities are endless. I mean, they're limitless. So you suffer of you get overwhelmed and you end up doing nothing. So for that, when you open these GPTs, it's very clear. I mean, you have one button that says start with step number 1. And step number 1, in this case, the GPT will tell you, hey, hello, I'm here to help you with these 9 options. And it'll give you some options at the beginning, like how to use AI in tourism, how to create visitor personas, how to attract international visitors. What most people use this GPT for is for this last option, I mean, how to attract international visitors. You click there, and the GPT starts helping you in step by step. It says, okay, so I propose you to go through this plan here to develop your strategy. And it gives you like a 5 steps plan, right? Like the first step is, let's define your visitor persona. Second step, let's review what's your offer. Third step, let's make a match or an adjustment between your offer and your visitor persona. And it takes you step by step in the process. And the nice thing with AI, in contrast with traditional programs, let's say, is that when you have a software program, you are limited to what the developer created for that program, right? You cannot do anything else than what the creator of the program allows you to do. With AI, even though these GPTs have like a purpose and a process to follow, you know that you can divert, right? And start being creative and start adding things and saying, hey, let's do it this way or this other way, just like talking with an expert, right? So that's the beautiful thing of artificial intelligence. And this AI tourism expert will help you in this first step, will help you with creating this visitor persona, analyzing your product, fine-tuning your product. And then if you go to the other GPTs, then you can go into the following GPTs and do your market research to adjust your strategy. Then you go to the following set of GPTs to create your content, to talk to that visitor persona, and then to the final set of GPTs to transform that content into marketing and social media content. So basically, that's the idea of how all of this works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
at the end, what I found in practice is that you can replace. Remember that I told you. I mean, traditionally, to go through these 4 steps, you would need at least 4 different specialists and several months, and actually, it'll cost you several thousands of dollars. By using these GPTs, you can use one well-trained person in one morning can go through this whole process, and you can
Yeah.
repeat it as many times as you want. Now, here's an important nuance on all of this, and is that people think that AI is something like the genie, the magic that you just say what you want and it makes your dreams reality. And it's not like that. AI is just a tool, a very powerful one, very sophisticated one. So the quality of the results will depend on the quality of the user, right? So when I say that with these GPTs, you can get in one morning what usually you would get in several months with several specialists, it doesn't mean that this is magic. The person who uses these GPTs needs to have at least a minimum level of critical thinking. So, of course, first of all, tell clearly the AI what this company is looking for, to be able to assess how good are the results of the AI, and to ask the AI to adjust things.
Mm-hmm.
So just think of like a CEO. I mean, AI has transformed all of us into our own CEO. I mean, a CEO has the vision. A CEO has a group of experts. A CEO delivers tasks to each expert. When the experts bring the results, the CEO has to be able to see whether the results are quality results or not, or say, okay, this is wrong. You have to change this, and then connect results to get all the product together. Okay. So that's what a good professional should be able to do with these AIs. If the professional is a good professional, you get great results. If this is a lazy professional, you'll get just generic results.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I mean, large language models, all the companies are building them, they're working towards artificial general intelligence. And so what general intelligence means is really it's kind of like the common denominator. No, it's so if you're asking it to write about, I don't know, the German tourism market, it's going to use kind of the most common things that it finds. It's not necessarily going to pick out an expert's opinion, such as
Yeah.
yourself, and so I think it's really really important that we have these subject matter experts in the field that are actually kind of creating the context and the prompts in order to really kind of bring out this really unique, valuable content that it really takes a little bit of skill, to
Yeah.
and knowledge.
Yeah. And
To
Jason, I mean, you've touched a very important thing. What is an expert? Nobody is expert in everything. Everybody, I mean, we all are expert in something. So the idea here is that if you are the expert in your company, then you are the best qualified person to give the context and the tasks to AI to perform the best AI can. So if you are, because you also mentioned, I mean, AGI for instead of general intelligence, it sounds like artificial generic intelligence.
Yeah,
So when you are lazy, the results end up being generic. But
yeah,
if you really
absolutely.
lead as a leader, as you would do with a human team, if you are lazy with humans, your team will be average. If you
Yeah,
excel with humans, your team will excel as well. So it's the same with AI.
yeah, and the amazing thing with AI now is you can almost make synthetic humans, or you can at least set up uh, give an AI profile. So you can even do it with ChatGPT. Say act as um, the minister of tourism for such and such a place, and this is your background, and then this is actually your name. If it's a famous person that's out there, you can say, hey, this act as this person, the
Yeah,
CEO
yeah.
of Booking.com or the minister of tourism. Take on that person's knowledge, that the person's point of view.
Hmm.
Yeah. And literally, one of our first podcasts was in its techniques of, how to actually set up these different personas
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
your advisory board. Yeah. And
And I mean, I would like to go even a little farther. That's a great example of how to set up AI with a specific like personality type of knowledge to talk to you. But let's take it a step farther. Let's say you're a small tour operator, that you don't have the money, you don't have the budget to hire all these specialists for
mhm,
strategy, for market
yeah,
research, for content creation, for social media. But now with the AI, you don't need to hire them actually,
yeah,
because if you provide AI with enough context about your company and you are the expert of your company, if you provide enough context and you provide clear goals and you use AI to help you reflect on those goals, because you can do that as well, um, then you are the expert. And you start configuring AI to give you very personalized, very valuable results for you. But of course, for that, you have to provide the AI the context of your company. What's your size? What are your challenges? What is your reality? What are your objectives? What are your limitations, your strengths? And then what AI does is actually help you to summarize or connect a lot of information that otherwise is very hard for the human mind to connect, and search for more data that you weren't aware of.
yeah, yeah. Talking about the research phase that you had on your cycle, um, using deep research. I don't know if you've tried
Yeah,
Gemini, the Google Deep Research, or OpenAI's
perplexity or
research.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but especially the deep research that actually will go and it will actually look at hundreds and hundreds of different sources, different documents and web pages that it finds, and then pull in just the things that are relevant for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and so there you can do things like market trends, um, and really understanding your market. And I think another really cool thing about AI is this of understanding your market. So say there's a trend in Germany of,
Yeah.
I don't know, intergenerational travelers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And you want to say target that
Yeah.
market. It's amazing with AI, similar to how we build our virtual board of directors, we can actually build a intergenerational group of travelers. So say grandma and what are each of their interests, and build a profile
Yeah.
of around that, and then be able to actually bounce off different content, different campaign ideas,
Uh,
and
and,
ask
and
them what they think about them, and get
it,
their feedback.
exactly. And what's a
Yeah.
fantastic thing, and we use it the whole time, is to use AI and these tools like deep research that you mentioned to actually ask AI to search for the internet for the latest news to understand how political, economical, social context is affecting travelers' decision making and travelers' perspective. That's something that just 2, 3 years ago you would need to hire a researcher for that, and it
Hmm.
would cost you thousands of dollars and would take you several months. And with AI, you can get that now under 30, 40 minutes every time
Yeah.
you want, right? But once
Yeah.
again, the results will be good as long as you provide AI clear context and objective of what you want. If you're lazy, if you imagine AI is going to magically understand what you have in your head, that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. You have to take your time to know how to lead AI as you would lead a human
Yeah.
colleague. But
Yeah.
and this is the other really important thing. That doesn't mean AI is going to replace everybody. That's another myth and another lie. AI is amplifying the capacity of professionals that are really leveraging it, and on the contrary, it's opening a lot of opportunities for professionals that they didn't have before. Maybe that's the subject for another podcast, but I just wanted to leave that on the table as well, because many people might be thinking, oh, okay, so with these tools I can just fire my team and save a
Mm,
lot of money. No, it's not like that.
yeah. No. But the way I frequently think about it is as like have an assistant for you,
Yeah,
and it's an assistant that has, in many ways, has a super intelligence, like, a really smart intern in some things, but kind of dumb in other things. There's things that, yeah. And, just like an intern that's coming in, say, the first day of work, you have to give the entire
yeah.
context of what the job is that they need to do. And so, yeah, if you're trying to use AI, as an assistant, that's a great model. This is, think of them as an intern, new intern. What would you have to explain to them, all the different aspects of the job, in
You have
order for
made
them
a
to
great
do?
analogy that I'm going to steal
Yeah.
now from now on in
Okay.
my
Yeah.
conversations. I mean, AI, yeah, it's like having this assistant that is super smart in remembering things and connecting things and getting updates. But in the other side, it's super naive in the outcomes you want to get, because it doesn't have the experience, doesn't have the expertise, it doesn't have the contact with the external world, and that's what the human has, and that's why humans will be amplified by using this tool. And the other problem as well is because AI is trained to speak so much as us. People are confusing AI with real human capacities, and AI is
Yeah.
not that. I mean, AI is I mean, said in a very like simplistic way, is a powerful statistical machine that can guess what are the correct words that should be put together, and sounds and looks like human, but it's not. So it's a human expertise that can be concentrated on getting higher quality results, while AI does the heavy lifting in terms of connecting data and collecting and remembering things.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. I think it's all about context. That's the word for the
Exactly.
day, I think.
Exactly.
And yeah, with AI, your context. I mean, when we're just writing out prompts, it lives in our brains, or we can refer to different documents, different web pages. We can ask it to do research. We
Hmm.
can even give it access to our internal systems, say our CRM, our booking system, our accounting system as
Yeah.
well. And that gets really, really interesting when you can start now orchestrating uh, different processes different workflows in companies when they have access to all the data and some basic instructions and some standard operating procedures of how to use all the tools in the data.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of what we're working on right now with our mytrip.ai
Fantastic.
agent team that's coming out, and it's really fascinating. It's challenging as well. For sure.
Indeed. And I mean, returning to the beginning, I mean, with all the fascinating things that media show us about what AI can do, people is like overwhelmed and fascinated. But you ask tourism professionals, are you using have you at least created one simple custom GPT to help you with any process? And 95% of people, they haven't. And it is so easy to create. They have not.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because of course we want the simplest solution, and we're already busy. All of us, we're already busy with all the things we have to do. Like on top of that, learning how to create a GPT, a custom GPT. But when people discovers how easy it is, then they fall in love with that. But most people don't have the time to give them, because it would take you a few hours. I mean, it's not like days.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to
or even an hour.
In a couple of hours of writing some things, because actually creating these GPTs is just like writing a memo to one of your employees. I mean, you use human language and you say, your task is this, and I want the output in this format. And you use plain English for that. And that's it. And you have coded a new program. It's as easy as that. But 95% of people don't have the time to look into that because they're already busy with their daily tasks.
Yeah. They don't realize that taking those few hours to do something different, learn something new, will actually save them hundreds of hours. In the future.
Yeah, but the problem is that's the promise of thousands of tools out there.
Yeah.
So in which tool should I invest my time? So that's the risk that people don't want, and therefore
you can
people,
ask AI.
Don't get a deeper experience with AI beyond replacing Google search. So that's why I created these GPTs and share with everybody. So the GPTs already have the process in there. People don't have to think about the prompt. They just follow step by step. But just by using those GPTs, people will start thinking about, oh, look, the process goes like this. And what if it would be this other way, or maybe that other way? And maybe people will be motivated to start exploring a little bit more, right? If someone like me, who is not a programmer, could develop such GPTs, because some of them are really sophisticated and will take you through really complex process for statistical forecasting, for content creation, for a lot of planning things. If someone like me, who just knows how to write human language, normal language, can do it, anybody can do it, right? So that's a hope.
And maybe we don't all have to go out and get our PhDs, because we have
of course,
people like Santiago who are out there writing our GPTs.
Definitely. I didn't have to get a PhD to learn how to do this at all. I mean, all of this exploded after I finished my PhD. I wish I would have these AI tools when I was doing my PhD would have helped a lot. Now
that's an entire additional podcast that we can go out about education. So. Well, thanks so much, Santiago, for joining us today. Maybe you could let us know where we can find you out on the internet.
Yeah, okay, with pleasure. I will let you know where you can find the tools, actually. These are free to access, right? So you just go to www and then Santiago R, just the R, like my last name, Rodriguez, SantiagoR.com. www.santiagor.com. And there you will find the menu, an option that says free AI tools. Just go there and you'll get access to the tools. Of course, the only thing you need to have is a free ChatGPT account to use them, and you're ready to go.
Fantastic. And I know Santiago's out there on LinkedIn. It has a lot of great content on LinkedIn as well. So go check him out there. Thanks so much, Santiago. It was a real pleasure having you on the podcast. And
a pleasure catching up with you, Jason, as well.
Likewise. Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Bye-bye.
We ride